Black Clover is back.
And we are ready for its return. Asta is determined to save the world and become the Wizard Emperor by defeating Lucius. In chapter 370, Asta and Yuno start by taking down Lucius's angels. But it's not enough, as Lucius activates the next stage of his plan. Suddenly, the entire Clover kingdom is rocked by a massive earthquake, with the king's castle collapsing. As everyone looks up, they see a heavenly sight. Asta reveals that Ru foresaw Lucius's plan to create a perfect, immortal world using a powerful compound magic spell from the sky. In chapter 344, we witness Lucius cooking a massive tree by combining the magic of his 3 siblings. This is his method for crafting a world where everyone possesses immortal bodies and is considered equal, while he assumes the role of the ultimate Wizard King. Lucius utilizes blood, bone, and body magic to craft a vessel for implanting a person's soul using his own magical abilities. The most effective method to achieve this is through compound magic, which merges various attributes. This concept stands in contrast to the cliff-off, the arrangement of evil forces in both Kabbalah and the manga, serving as the opposing structure to the Sephirot. The Sephirot, utilized by the elves, apostles, and the Tree of Life monument, serves a different purpose compared to the cliff-off. Unlike the cliff-off, the Sephirot represents a pathway of divine mind, creative life energy, or consciousness from God, as claimed by Lucius, who is being referred to as such, even by Morris, despite facing imminent danger. The citizens and magic knights acknowledge that it's an impressive sight, symbolizing the false prophet's attempt to entice his followers towards evil by presenting himself as a heavenly figure. However, there are still those who remain steadfast in their fight against Lucius's numerous clones. However, their efforts may be in vain if they cannot reach his main body, located high above the Clover Kingdom, shown in chapter 361. Consequently, 2 individuals Lucius fervently hopes do not confront him are Asta and Yuno. Ru revealed that Lucius has foreseen the future and is aware that these 2 are the only ones capable of defeating him. This raises the question, why didn't Andromelech simply eliminate Asta if Lucius knew he posed such a threat? Yuno attained a grimoire singularity, as mentioned in chapters 3 through 6, and Asta was deemed the flaw of the future due to his inability to be read. So why would Lucius allow them to train and survive? Is he lacking in intelligence? There was a prime opportunity to eliminate Asta in chapter 330, yet Andromelech seemingly disregarded him. The only explanation for this apparent plot hole could be that Andromelech chose to change his plans. This devil has a secret plan. Many interpretations of Andromelech view him as a very cunning and evil devil. Clubstock's The Messiest poem even accounts for how he exceeds Satan himself when it comes to guilt and malice. Clubstock further wrote how Andromelech worked together with Satan to overthrow God, but not to further Satan's kingdom, rather that Andromelech could take it for himself. Andromelech leveraged the power of Satan to achieve his goals, a strategy that allowed him to ascend the devil hierarchy in demonology. This concept, which Yuki Tabata likely drew upon in writing Black Clover, involved Andromelech proving his usefulness to those higher in the hierarchy till he reached their level. Upon attaining the status of Lucifer and Satan, Andromelech sought to gain the worship of humanity, ultimately becoming the god of the sun. Hence, it would clarify why Andromelech kept Asta alive against Lucifero and refrained from engaging Yuno during the time skip after the Spade Kingdom War in chapter 336. He observed them training, recognizing their necessity in defeating Lucius. Attempting to confront Lucius himself would have been futile, as Lucius could foresee such attempts through his ability to witness the future across countless timelines, as mentioned in chapter 360. Therefore, Andromelech had to rely on what I'll dub the Asta effect. This refers to Asta's unique quality, revealed in chapter 360, where Lucius was astonished by individuals like Yuno, who defy their predetermined destinies. He mentioned that Yuno was only supposed to reach his current strength level in a world where the Spade Kingdom War never occurred. Similarly, Noel was never intended to attain such power and was destined for a life of exile from the Silva family. However, Asta's presence and support on the day she joined the Black Bulls changed everything. It altered the course of events, defying fate. Asta's influence on the world, along with the camaraderie among everyone, enabled them to collectively shape a future that Lucius couldn't foresee. Once again, it underscores the power of friendship. As the anti-magic boosted the Black Bulls, they appeared to save the day. Each member showcased their new forms, a result of Asta bestowing his anti-magic upon them following his training with Zidane. Asta has gained the ability to control this power to such an extent that it no longer affects his friends adversely. They can still utilize it, much like when Asta copied Yami's Dimension Slash. He has learned to control his anti-magic so precisely that it won't harm those he cares for. When Asta first unlocked his black form, it was thanks to the Witch Queen in Chapter 97. Using her blood magic to heal him, she altered his body, allowing the anti-magic to flow freely within him. This is exactly what she mentioned in Chapter 367 when healing the Black Bulls after using her Foresight ability. It granted them access to this new power. Just to remind you, based on the feats Luck and Magna achieved in Chapter 369, we know Asta's anti-magic has buffed the Black Bulls to be 1,000 times stronger. How, you may ask? Well, back in Chapter 365, Damnatio effortlessly destroyed Magna's chain deathmatch. Before he had the chance to use it properly, this automatically scaled Damnatio's paladin form way above 100%, making him stronger than Luciferodonte, who was already 900 times stronger than Magna. Now, thanks to the anti-magic buff, he was able to trap Lucius inside. Additionally, Luck killed 6 angels as if they were fodder. In contrast, in Chapter 357, Jack had to use his ultimate attack to achieve the same thing, but he died in the process after being killed by Morgan's paladin. All of this leads to an interesting outcome, bringing the theme of the story full circle. The Black Bulls, who were once rejects of society, now showcase insane potential, and now we're seeing captains being guarded by them, covering their backs. But their new power-up has a downside. They can only unleash 1 or 2 major attacks. We witness Finrel, Charmy, and Zora supporting Asta and Yuno as they search for the real Lucius, while Scorch heads to rescue his sister Marie as well as Will, along with his anti-magic mirrors Vanessa and Gray, keep Lucius's clone away from Noelle, allowing her to focus on defeating her mother. Meanwhile, a small family reunion unfolds as Nock and Ichaka assist Yami against a Lucius clone and Captain Morgan. Yami still harbors a devil's heart, which will activate when his sister Ichika is in trouble, giving him another power-up. This parallels what he did in the past when she lost control due to their father, and Yami Hero shouldered all the blame for killing the clan. After all, this entire story revolves around the love and bonds that give people strength, which is literally the translation of Asta's name. However, someone who doesn't need any Black Bull backup is Siscolian. In Chapter 371, the fight against Morris continues. Throughout this battle, Siscolian has seen her Crimson Line comrades sacrifice themselves so that she can fight on. In all the futures Lucius saw, Siscolian was meant to die against Morris as she wasn't strong enough. But due to the Asta effect, instead Siscolian became the only person who could defeat Morris. One of the powers bestowed upon him by Lucius was Operation Dismantle. This ability allows Morris to completely disintegrate anything he touches, which is why Hellfire Incarnate it's the perfect counter. She lost her arm but was able to grow a new one made of pure mana. That's because this spell becomes more potent the longer Siscolian spends in the form, the more her body becomes mana itself. Now, as Morris states himself, there's nobody in the world who's as close to pure mana as her. Helped by all the years she spent away from the kingdom and in the wilderness, basking in natural mana, Siscolian is totally immune to Morris's Operation Dismantle. Nonetheless, this dude reveals his second magic type being Earth. He creates an army of living shields, as he calls them, faceless mounds of dirt that vaguely resemble the human body, mindlessly charging into battle purely to protect Morris. But to create a contrast in the story, Sisgolian is able to burn them to shreds. However, they merely regenerate too fast for her. Now guess what? This is just another reason why she's the perfect counter to Morris. Everything he's ever done can be attributed to science. Those he believed to be lesser than him were merely tools for him to experiment on in an attempt to create new magic. For example, Mars is literally a living embodiment of this, with the crazy amount of abuse Morris caused in Chapter 16. Sisgolian, on the other hand, was lonely due to her strength, growing up to the point that even before she got her grimoire, she could defeat the average magic knight. However, because she's a beast and she tried to get even stronger, which is why she left the kingdom behind in search of nature. That's when she learned that this wasn't the answer. There was a limit to what she could achieve alone. Thus, she returned to train those weaker than her, rather than use them like Morris. This resulted in not only the Crimson Lines growing in strength by pushing themselves past the limit, but it worked for Sisgolian as well, all culminating in her brand new spell, Ultimate Flame Magic. Now, she's managed to surpass her limits in mana enough to defeat Morris. But we still don't know the name of his devil, so Morris might come back. Meanwhile, Asta and Yuno are gearing up to battle the real Lucius.